be. The ground of the Pride Lands trembled as the sun rose blood-red over the horizon, casting long shadows across the savannah where peace once ruled and harmony was law. And in that heavy silence, every animal felt it. The coming storm that was no longer hidden in whispers or rumors, but alive, real, and standing face to face. Because this was not just a battle of strength or pride. This was a clash of blood, belief, and legacy. Simba versus Kion. King against protector. Father against son. Brotherhood against destiny. And the roar that shattered the morning sky did not belong to one lion alone, but two generations, screaming through time, demanding to be heard. Simba stood tall upon Pride Rock, his mane darker with age, yet thick with wisdom, earned through loss and survival. His eyes sharp, cautious, burdened by responsibility, heavier than any crown. While below him, Kion paced the dust, younger, faster. His stance filled with fire and defiance. His roar echoing with a power that once protected the circle of life, but now threatened to tear it apart. And, as the wind carried their scents across the land, the animals froze, knowing that whatever happened next would change the Pride Lands forever. Kion broke the silence first, his voice steady but burning, questioning a rule that no longer made sense to him, challenging decisions made in the name of tradition, while the world around them suffered. And Simba listened, jaw tight, heart torn, because he recognized that fire he had once been, that lion, questioning everything, but he also knew how easily fire could consume everything it touched if left unchecked. The tension was not born in a single moment, but had grown slowly, seeded by doubt, watered by fear, and fueled by misunderstanding. Because Kion had seen suffering beyond Pride Rock, lands neglected, voices ignored, predators and prey alike struggling under rigid laws that no longer serve them all, while Simba had spent years protecting fragile balance, knowing how close chaos always waited, knowing one wrong decision could plunge everything into darkness just as it once had under Scar. As Kion spoke of change, Simba heard echoes of his past, memories of rebellion, exile, and guilt. And he responded not with anger but caution, reminding his son that leadership was not about rushing forward with power, but about patience, restraint, and sacrifice. Words that felt like chains to Kion, who had wielded the roar to save lives, to stop injustice, to protect those who had no voice, and now felt restrained by rules written long before he was born. Their words cut deeper than claws, each sentence widening the rift, until finally the inevitable happened. The moment when talk turned into action, when frustration exploded into motion, and Kion roared. Not fully unleashed, but enough to crack the stone beneath Simba's paws, enough to make the sky tremble. Enough to draw gasps from the watching herds, because this was no training roar. This was a warning. Simba braced himself, digging his claws into the rock, his own roar rising to meet it, not powered by magic but by raw authority, experience, and the unbreakable will of a king who had already lost everything once and refused to lose it again. And when their roars collided, the air itself seemed to shatter, dust spiraling upward like a storm summoned by destiny itself. They lunged, not as teacher and student, not as family, but as equals locked in conflict. Claws striking stone, bodies colliding with thunderous force. Tree moment, fueled by years of emotion, held back until this moment. Simba fighting not to dominate, but to stop, to contain, to prevent disaster. While Kion fought to be heard, to prove that his vision mattered, that his power was not a threat, but a promise of a better future. Around them, the Pride Lands watched, silent witnesses to a war they never imagined. Birds circling anxiously, elephants shifting uneasily, even the wind seeming unsure which way to blow. Because the circle of life itself felt unbalanced, pulled between tradition and transformation, stability and progress. Kion moved fast, youth giving him speed and agility, dodging Simba's heavier strikes, countering with precision learned through countless battles against real threats, his eyes blazing with conviction, while Simba relied on strength and strategy, predicting moves, forcing Kion back with calculated pressure, refusing to let the roar decide the outcome alone. Each clash brought flashes of memory for Simba Mufasa's teachings. Scars, betrayal, the pain of exile, the weight of responsibility passed down through generations. He realized in that moment that Kion was not wrong to question, just as Simba once had not been wrong to run. But timing, he knew, was everything. Kion felt his father's strength and understood then that Simba was not clinging to power out of fear, but out of love, fear of losing everything again, fear of seeing the Pride Lands burn, and for a split second, doubt crept into Kion's heart. But it was drowned out by the voices of those he had sworn to protect, pushing him forward. The battle raged across the savannah, dust clouds rising as they crashed through tall grass, claws tearing earth, roars echoing across distant hills. Until finally Kion stumbled, the strain of holding back the full roar weighing on him, and Simba stood over him, chest heaving, eyes not triumphant but pained. This was the moment everyone expected: the end, the defeat, the submission. But instead, Simba stepped back, lowering his guard, offering not dominance but understanding, telling Kion that strength without unity would only lead to ruin. That change demanded wisdom as much as courage, and that a king who ruled alone would always fall. Kion rose slowly, breathing hard, the fire in his eyes dimming into something deeper, something thoughtful, as he realized that war had never been the answer, that the legacy he carried was not meant to replace his father's but to evolve it, to build upon it rather than destroy it. The wind shifted, then carrying away the dust, revealing to lions, standing not as enemies but as families scarred by conflict, yet bound by love, and the animals stepped forward cautiously, sensing the shift, sensing hope returning to the land. King Kion bowed his head, not in surrender but in respect, acknowledging the weight Simba carried, while Simba placed his forehead against Kion's, recognizing the courage it took to challenge the world itself. And in that quiet moment, the Pride Lands breathed again. The war ended not with victory or defeat, but with understanding. A promise forged in battle that legacy was not a chain, but a bridge, connecting past and future, tradition and change, reminding everyone watching that true strength was not in overpowering others, but in listening, learning, and choosing unity over destruction. As the sun climbed higher, its golden light washing over the savannah, Simba and Kion turned together toward Pride Rock. Side by side, knowing the road ahead would not be easy, knowing mistakes would still be made, but also knowing that the circle of life had grown stronger that day, tempered by conflict, healed by truth, and ready to face whatever future awaited. And as their combined roar rose into the sky, not in anger but in harmony, it carried a message far beyond the Pride Lands, a reminder that even when legacy turns into war, understanding can turn it back into hope, and that is how legends are truly born.